Hi guys, my name is Janet Mendez. I've been in the hospital maybe almost a month. Exactly the date I don't remember because it's been so long. But finally they are sending me home. It's been a long journey, especially not for me, but for my family, because they were the one up. They were the one praying. They were the one going every single day through my journey, and while I was sleeping. So I'm much better. People were saying when I came in, I was blue. I remember perfectly well that I looked at my face and I looked like a Smurf. So I got scared, and they were like, okay, we're going to put you to sleep. Everything was quick. Everything was fast. And I had less than 20 minutes to say goodbye to everybody. Tried to get whoever was near me aware that they were exposed to maybe coronavirus. And try to explain to my mom that I was going to be okay. So this has been a long journey. And I am thankful to God that I'm able to say, okay, I'm leaving the hospital and I'm okay. That the coronavirus did not take me away compared to other many people that have not been able to wake up from going in coma or going to the hospital. So I'm thankful to the Lord that I'm one of the survivors, that I could say I'm going home today, that I'm actually getting out of the hospital and I'm much better, that I actually have color and I'm not blue like the first day that I came into the hospital.
So Ms. Mendez, today is the day you're going home.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know Dr. Yemen, she was in charge of the intensive care unit when you were there for 2 weeks.
Yes, they told me. My mom told me that.
And Shauna Friedman runs the nursing team. Her nurses took care of you every minute, 24/7 while you were there.
When I was even in the difficult stages.
Tell us what you were feeling when you came to the hospital.
At the beginning, I was scared because when I looked at myself in the mirror, when I did a video chat, I looked at myself and I was blue. I was blue, my lips were blue and everything happened fast. Everyone's like, okay, this is gonna happen. We recommend it to put you to sleep so that you could fight it better. And I didn't have time to react. I was like, okay, let's do what I need to do. And I didn't have time to tell anybody because, like I said, I was blue and I couldn't breathe.
So when you came into the emergency room on the 25th last month, you came straight up to the intensive care unit.
Yes.
And we put that breathing tube in for you. And then over the next 2 weeks, we had to adjust the ventilator and get you strong enough to get off the ventilator.
That part, I guess you guys know because...
And you don't remember any of that?
I felt like I was dreaming the whole time.
That's because Dr. Yemen had the medicines just right for you.
Yeah.
Good thing you
Thank
don't
you.
remember.
Yeah, no, I don't remember at all. All I remember is when I woke up, I didn't even know my name, who I was, where was I standing. That's why in the beginning I was difficult because I felt so lost. I'm like, where am I, who I am, and why am I here?
Victoria, come stand next to her. So Dr. Yemen took care of you during all that time, along with the nursing team and the surgeons, and you had a lot of trouble with your lungs during those 2 weeks. In fact, some air leaked out of the lungs, and you got swollen up, and then we got the air to not leak anymore. We did some special things. We put you in a face-down position, and then a face-up position, and back and forth like this for a few days. And ultimately, your lungs recovered. You got all the medicines that we know how to give for COVID, and fortunately, you pulled through.
Yeah, I'm thankful to all of you guys because, like I said, I didn't feel anything. My family were the ones that were suffering and listening and going through all the steps with you guys. So like, for me, it was just I was sleeping the whole time.
And now, how do you feel walking?
Like a newborn baby, shaking. I'm trying to walk, but at least I'm getting stronger every day and able to walk further and further away.
And your oxygen levels are good even on regular air.
Yes, right. I'm able to breathe. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to tell other people about COVID?
Take it seriously. Protect yourself. If you don't have to go outside, stay home. Because at the beginning, you're like, oh, yeah, it's just the media. But this is real. It knocks you down. Even though you think you're healthy, it knocks you down.
We're glad you got back up.
Thank you.
High five. All right. Good. All right.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the National Newspaper Publishers Association and Black Press of America's Let It Be Known. It is Monday morning, August the 30th, 2021, and while that case appears to have ended well, COVID cases in America are up 20% as of this morning. Tests are down 8%, hospitalizations are up 34%, and deaths are up 116%. And look, a word to the wise, follow the wise people. Those who are 65 and older have 90, let me say it this way, 92% of those 65 and over have at least one dose of the vaccine. 82% are fully vaccinated. Meanwhile, on the other side of the coin, the young ones are not getting vaccinated like the seniors are. So word to the wise, follow the wise. And speaking of following the wise, let us bring on now the National Newspaper Publishers Association's president and CEO, Dr. Ben Chavez. Good morning, Dr. Chavez.
Good morning, Stacey Brown, on this Monday morning, live from the NNPA National Headquarters in Washington, D.C. So pleased to be with you on Let It Be Known. On behalf of Karen Carter Richards, our chair, and 230 African-American owned newspapers and media companies across America. The headlines are full, and thank you for sharing them.
Well, Dr. Chavez, this morning, before we get to the headlines, we'd like to let you know that we have Detroit-based Automation Workz Institute Incorporated, the nation's only Black tech diversity consultant and upskilling institution. They recently announced the close of $10 million growth financing to drive the expansion of their cybersecurity, network engineer, and development certification courses to people of color across America. We're going to speak with the founder, Byrd-Hill. Of course, as you said, the headlines. Like the suppressive bills passed and on the table in Republican-led states and the reluctance by some Democrats to abolish the filibuster, the sweltering heat and suffocating humidity only proved as two more obstacles that thousands of Americans refuse to let stand in their way. Marchers rallied in the nation's capital and in other cities across the country, demanding passage of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the For the People Act, as well as for DC statehood. The march came on the 58th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King's historic March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. It was led by King's eldest son, Martin Luther King III. Dr. Chavez, I know that march on Saturday, the 58th anniversary of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech. I know it meant a lot to you.
That's correct. 58 years ago, I was 13 years old and in Washington, D.C. for the March on Washington. And thereafter, actually right before the march, I became the youth coordinator for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in my home state of North Carolina. So it was a pleasure not only to hear Dr. King make the I Have a Dream speech, but we all knew that we had our work cut out for us that summer of 1963, because less than 1 month after the march, they had the bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama, which killed 4 little black girls in Sunday school that Sunday morning. So, and then earlier, we had, Meg Evers had been killed in earlier 1963. So it was a awful year, but a hopeful year, because we decided we were not going to let systemic racism hold us back. Now, fast forward 58 years later, we're still marching, we're still protesting, but I would say that we're also gaining ground. We have a much better Congress than we had in 1963 that we have today in 2021. We have a African-American vice president, and we have a president who was the vice president, the first black president of America. So with the White House and with the Congress, we don't have the Supreme Court. We need to get more people on the Supreme Court, but we need to be pushing forward. And these voter suppression legislation, Stacey, that is in 48 states. Can you imagine? 48 of the 50 states have passed voter repression legislation to try to keep people from voting. So our work is cut out for the remainder of this year and all of 2022 is get out the vote, maximize the vote, and to hold the ground that we've gained, not let anyone take away our right to vote, but to push forward for even greater rights. And that's what the John Lewis Voting Rights Act stands for. That's what, all of the other legislation that has been introduced stands for, including the infrastructure bill. All these things have to work to improve the quality of life for our community.
Yeah, and Dr. Chavis, Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards this morning has requested a presidential major disaster declaration as his state continues to be pummeled by Hurricane Ida. Dr. Chavis, more than 1 million residents in Louisiana have been displaced. And right now, the death toll we see it's very, very small at this point, but it's not small to the families who are losing loved ones. Our hearts go out to those in Louisiana, and hopefully this storm that hit Dr. Chavis on the same date that Hurricane Katrina ravaged Louisiana and Mississippi 16 years ago. So the winds were coming in ashore at least 45 miles per hour and rose to, in an instant, they said 150 miles per hour. So it's a very, very strong storm, hurricane there down in Louisiana. And again, our thoughts go out to the residents of Louisiana. And of course, we have our members in Louisiana as well.
Absolutely. I talked to Terry Jones, who's the publisher of the New Orleans Data News. He was fortunate enough to be able to leave New Orleans right before the storm hit. He's down in Houston waiting the storm out. And we sent out prayers, not only for all of our Black-owned newspapers throughout the state of Louisiana and Mississippi and now Alabama. But, we have to work. This is climate change. There's still too many people that deny climate change. We need to do better, not only prepare for hurricanes, but not to contribute to the deterioration of the environment that causes the hurricanes in the first place.
And Dr. Chavis, in a historic interview and meeting with a contingent from the National Newspaper Publicist Association, the commissioner, Jay Monahan of the PGA Tour, met with us on Saturday at the BMW Championships in Maryland. There's a great photo of you and the commissioner right there, Dr. Chavis. The commissioner said that he was very candid, and he discussed the PGA Tour. He said they sought to make the game more inclusive for African Americans. He admitted that, quote, "I also said then that candidly, we didn't know exactly what to do right away, but that we wouldn't be deterred. What we've done since is make a commitment to communicate, learn, show compassion, and ultimately demand better. That started with, and frankly continues with, doing a lot more listening than talking. He also noted the 10-year, $100 million pledge to supporting racial equity and inclusion efforts, as well as their HBCU and APGA tour initiatives. The commissioner said the golf world hopes that as the careers of those talented young HBCU players progress, they'll then be able to play their way into additional opportunities and bring the game to even more people of color. What a great meeting, Dr. Chavis. I'm sure you'll agree we had with Commissioner Monahan.
It was an historic meeting, and just for the record, this is the first time that a commissioner of one of the major league sports has sat down with the Black press in an exclusive interview. And as I mentioned to Jay, the commissioner, that to do that on the day of the 58th anniversary of the March on Washington, I thought was very significant, relevant, and historic. And I'm pleased to re-announce, we've already made it public, that there's a strategic alliance now between the NMPA and the PGA Tour. And what does that mean? That means advertising dollars for our newspapers from the PGA Tour. It also means that we're going to help them work with all of our historical black colleges and universities to get more, not only young brothers and sisters in the stream of professional golf, but also there's so many scholarships. Golf touches a lot of different auxiliary industries. And so this was a leadership move by the commissioner of the PGA Tour, and we're hoping that other professional sports will also follow suit.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dr. Chavis, Detroit-based Automation Workz Institute Incorporated, the nation's only Black tech diversity consulting and upskilling institution, recently announced the close of $10 million growth financing to drive the expansion of their cybersecurity, network engineer, and development certification courses to people of color across America. This morning, we welcome Ida Boyd-Hill. Good morning, Miss Ida Boyd-Hill. You're on mute, Miss Hill.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning, Sister Hill, and thank you so much. And we salute your leadership, and we want to get the good news out about all of the opportunities that your company is providing for brothers and sisters to get into the tech industry in a meaningful way.
Yes, we're excited. You know, we celebrated the 58th anniversary of March on Washington, but what people have forgotten is that march was not just political. It was totally economic.
Yes.
It was about jobs. And it's amazing, 58 years later, we're still fighting to get those jobs.
Absolutely. And jobs that are well-paying jobs.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Go ahead, Dr. Chavis.
Just the economics to get these jobs in the tech industry.
Absolutely. See, these are six-figure jobs. I tell people that, you know, our school placed our highest two graduates, one in 105, followed by one in 117,000. And they don't have a degree. They have a certification. And so what people don't realize is that a lot of the cybersecurity industry jobs do not require a degree. They require preparation and a certification exam. And they do land you in the six-figure zone. And so we're on a mantra to get that across America so that African Americans community realizes that there is a school that can help you get there. We just need you to apply and to stay applied until you finish.
Very good.
And so with that, Ida Byrd-Hill, can you tell us more about Automation Workz Institute and what you're doing there to help facilitate this?
Great. I started Automation Workz Institute technically in 2017 with a nonprofit. And what we did is we were testing to see if African Americans would do the rigorous curriculum of Cisco networking academies. Cisco's been around for 20 years. They've been all over the world. They're even teaching people network engineering and cybersecurity in other countries who then migrate to the US for jobs. And so our thing is, why can't we teach our own people so that they can be in the running for those jobs? So what we learned in the pilot is that, yes, our people can definitely do it. We did have to tweak the curriculum so that it made it easier for them to assume the knowledge. And now we're off and running. Now, I do have to chuckle. When we started officially as a for-profit in 2019, everyone told me that there's no way I could be successful. Well, I don't really listen to people, because when I know something, I know it. And so what we decided is that we're going to go out to Silicon Valley and we're going to find some money so that I can scale. Because I do have, of course, students here in Detroit, but we started getting students in Atlanta and Baltimore, and now we're trying to hit 20 cities across the country. And so we've got $10 million. So we're scaling. Come this September when school starts, we're going to be in like 10 cities so far, and we're just trying to make it across America because we want our community to know that they have access to these high-paying jobs. And instead of just always going to your typical community colleges and to other boot camps, come to us. We're culturally relevant. We have African-American teachers and mentors. And so we understand that we have tech geniuses in our community, and our job is to groom them so that they can get these six-figure jobs.
Yeah, and I understand too that at least 30% of Automation Workz graduates have received those six-figure jobs. So it's apparently you guys are really practicing what you preach.
Yeah, we are, but our goal is we're trying to get to 80% that are hitting six figures. So we're off in the running. I'm crisscrossing the country, having conversations with corporate America, because it does require some of their involvement of being able to open the access of those jobs. Right now, the bulk of the jobs in the tech industry, even whether you're in a regular manufacturing institution, whether you're in a banking institution, the bulk of those jobs go to all Asians or Caucasians. You very rarely see a lot of Black tech people in most tech jobs across America. So we've been crisscrossing America, having conversations with corporate America that to have access, to be able to get our students access to those jobs, because that's the last link. We're having some good run to get them into those corporations, but it is a challenge. I mean, we're fighting every day. It's a whole new civil rights fight to break down the door of tech America. And so we're working on that handsomely every single day, because it requires a real coordinated effort to get those six figures, because now that they have the credentials, we want the corporations to recognize them and open up the floodgates.
Yeah. And I see a question from James Wright. He says, do you have to be mathematically inclined to work in cybersecurity?
No, you do not. But I'm going to tell you what you do have to have is the grit to understand rigor. What makes our school a little differently is that we don't lean on academic assessments. We are looking for young people who are video game oriented. A lot of them play video games all day, every day, not realizing that they have some of the most excellent problem solving skills known to man. The military understands that because a lot of their training is simulation and game based. And so what we're looking for are young people who play video games. If you can play video games and stay at that for 2, 3, 4 hours, if you stay with our digital simulations and video games for 2 to 3 hours, we will get you prepared. But no, you don't have to be mathematically inclined. In fact, we don't even do an academic assessment like most schools. What we do is a video game audition. If you can do our video games, then we will take you. But I do have to tell you, one of the things we do look for are individuals who have goals. We want to know that you have a vision for your life, because we can't help you get to that vision if you don't have one. So we will walk you through the process before you come to the school to grab a vision, to be able to understand what goals are, because we need you to achieve them, because our program is rigorous. Now, while we have eliminated all the academic assessments, we have not eliminated the rigor, because at the end of the day, we need to get corporate America to understand that our students are just not equal to others. They are better than others because we have prepared them appropriately.
Yeah, and Ida Byrd-Hill, you mentioned access, the lack of access for the most part. Well, what else has been one of the obstacles to African Americans and people of color in general breaking into the tech field, and especially cybersecurity?
I'm going to say the biggest obstacle has been motivation. I mean, the truth of the matter, they do have to fight to get into the tech industry, because oftentimes, even if you have the credentials, because Cisco is a world-renowned credential, the tech world denies them access by not even granting them an interview. So even though they say that they have 500 or 3 million or 5 million jobs open, part of the challenge is that they won't even grant the interview. So one of the successes that we've had in getting our students the six-figure income is getting them into the door of getting the interview. And we've been a little subservient about it. We've been using the employee referral process because that's how the tech industry runs. And so we've been finding employee referrals all over the country who will sponsor our students into their companies. People go, what do you mean? The way that the tech industry runs is that it is a good old boy network, but not the way people think. The tech world pays referrals to employees for referring in other individuals. And so what we do is we use that process to get our people in the door. So say, for example, when we had someone hired at Deloitte and Touche, the person who sponsored her is a former FBI agent who's a cybersecurity person. She actually got paid a fee to refer in my person. So what we've decided is that instead of fighting with HR, because we do have those struggles a lot, we now are going around that process to get them into the corporation. Now, when someone has a financial vested interest in you coming to work for their company, it's amazing what they do to get you in the door. And that's how we've been getting our six-figure incomes. So we tell people we're pretty sure that if you come with us and we get our training, we're going to get you in, because I'm meeting people all over the country who are opening those doors for us and are cheering us on to make sure that we can get our students in. And I'll give you a good example. The head of the cryptologic school for the National Security Agency, NSA, is my cybersecurity sister. And she's been so helpful in opening doors for us because she understands the rigor that we bring to the table is bar none compared to any university in this country. And we're going to keep producing students of that quality. And so those doors are now starting to open, but we're having to do it in a very untraditional way.
Yeah, and before I throw it to Dr. Chavis, a few of our viewers have some questions. One person asks, will a criminal record keep you out?
No, it will not, with one exception. The federal government will not hire you with the criminal record, but other corporations will. And I have to talk about that because when I say that, I had proposed a project to the Department of Energy that really the America's Cybersecurity Corps should be individuals who have a criminal record. When I say that, people go, what do you mean? A hacker is a criminal. And while we may put them on a pedestal and while we may laud them for their technological power, they are a criminal. And who else can think and face off with them is someone who has the same mindset, which is someone who has a record. But what happens is that we think that just look at the tech powers of a hacker without realizing that they are a criminal. And you don't face off a mainstream person to someone who is a contrarian thinker. You go find another person who's a contrarian thinker, and then you face the two of them off. One of the reasons why I was so sure about getting this 10 million to scale is Black people have had to be contrarian thinkers to survive in America, because America did everything in their power to crush us, but we're still here because we had to think differently to survive. So individuals with criminal records, we welcome them because we know we can get them into the doors of corporate America, but getting into the government service is very difficult.
Yeah, and Michelle Madison said many of the jobs are going to India. Is that the case now?
Absolutely. The visa programs are still open in America. They're not going to close them because that would close off their tech pipeline. So my thing is, while we're having that discussion about those visas, we need to be moving our own people into those jobs. And so it requires that we have to have students who have the rigor, who we can say, instead of hiring that visa candidate, hire someone who's already a citizen.
Okay. And Dr. Chavis?
Well, Ada, Byrd-Hill, you're giving out such great information. How do our viewers and listeners connect with you and take advantage of those opportunities? Is there a central website? How do we take the next steps to get young people in the pipeline?
Just go to our website, and the website is www.autoworkz.org, and that's autoworkz.org, and that's autoworkz.org.
So it's Workz is KZ.
Yes, KZ.
Okay. And then .org.
Yes.
All right. That's great. Stacey, we got to make sure we give this out more than one time during the show because I'm getting a lot of responses from all over the country who really want to respond to the great information you're putting out.
Fantastic. And our publisher down in Fort Lauderdale, Bobby Henry, is asking Ida, does age matter?
I'm going to say to us, age doesn't matter, but in the tech world, age does matter. We don't want to talk about it out loud, but they really don't want to hire people over 45. And so when you go and you look at the spectrum of tech workers, they mainly are 18 to 40 because they're having all type of discriminatory issues that are happening in the tech world. They're anti-women, they're anti-people of color, and they're anti-people over 40. And so age to us does not matter, but getting employment in the industry, it's a tough one if you're over 45.
And don't worry, Bobby. Bobby hasn't hit 45 yet, so he'll be okay. The best, you said, Ida, the best social justice program is a job, especially a high-paying, high-demand tech job. When you deliver a message like that, what's been the response from younger ones?
They have been open, but they still are not trusting that you can groom them because they're under the assumption that you have to be this mathematical wizard. You have to be this science wizard. And what we're looking for is tech geniuses. And we have a lot of them. I watch the young people play video games, and I could almost tell you, oh, I want that one, because I could tell they're going to be a problem solver. But they don't realize that them playing video games is a skill. It's a problem solving skill. And it's something that they have been doing since they have been born and don't realize that they are a tech genius because we don't talk about young people in the Black community being tech geniuses. And so I just want people to understand is that if you are a video game player, you're already a tech genius. You just don't know it. But we know it, and we're going to take you from where you are as a gaming expert to being that cybersecurity expert.
And so what else should we've covered a lot, you've covered a lot in just this little bit of time, but what's the most important thing that people should know, young ones, older ones, that they should know about the opportunities that you're presenting today?
I would say the biggest thing that people should know is that while we teach all this wonderful technical stuff, what makes our school unique is Ida, me. Because I believe so much. I grew my own son to be a tech genius. And so I actually take a personal interest in every student who comes in the door. While I may not be their instructor, I do talk to them regularly. And when they're having challenges, because I do have my own certification, that I can assist them. So last night I was with a student at 10 o'clock at night because they were doing their assignment and they were having some struggles. My thing is you need to get finished, so let's go on and get this over with. We're here to help you. We're not traditional university where we just throw you in and say sink or swim. We are here to guide you through all of your coursework till you get to an end. And my job as the head of this corporation is to make sure I have no student fall out because they didn't have assistance. So they're going to get assistance here, even if it's around the clock, Monday through Sunday. We're here for our students, and we want them to understand that we're here to make you successful, because when you come through the doors, we believe already that you are a tech genius. Now it is our job to prove to the world that you are what we say you are.
Yeah, and Ida, Byrd-Hill, how long does it typically take to complete your program?
Our program is a 12-month part-time program, and it's a little unique. The students go to class for the first 6 months. Then they take a break where we do our job search. So instead of doing job search at the end, we do it in the middle so that I can have some hands-on in the process. And then when they finish their job search, it usually takes 2.5 months. They come back to class for the last 4 months while they're working. So we tell people it's a 12-month process. It's not a snap of a finger. It does require your investment. But I have you to look at it a different way. You can either invest 4 years or 4, 5, 6 years in your regular bachelor's program, or you can invest part-time 12 months in a program we know is going to get you a six-figure income.
That's great.
Great. Dr. Chavis, your closing thoughts?
Well, once again, dynamic Black woman is making a difference. Ida Byrd-Hill, we salute you from the Black press. And we have a lot of contrarian thinkers, doers in the Black press. That's why we set up the Black press 194 years ago. We needed to plead our own cause and get involved in the technology of publishing. And of course, everything now is also challenged by technology. I think cybersecurity, just tech overall, Sister Ida, is something that we got to weigh in more. I've just become chair of a group called We Are Digital, and I'll be in touch with you about it because we also would like to get more brothers and sisters in the tech world.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ida, before we let you go, there's a couple quick more questions I did want to ask. How much does the program cost students to attend, and is there financial assistance? You're on mute, Ida.
The program is $9,750. And yes, there is technical assistance, financial assistance, but it's a little different. We don't believe in loans because we believe that student loans have really ravaged the Black community. So we have what we call the Big Bet Income Share Agreement. And what the Big Bet says is that you come on board, you give us $100 as a commitment fee. We will finance the rest until you graduate or get a job, whichever happens first. If you don't get a job, you owe us no money. If you get a job, you have to pay us back within 4 years. At the end of 4 years, we're done. So unlike having student loans where people have been paying them for 20 years, we're not doing that. It's 4 years and out. Now, I say to people, that's a hefty guarantee for me to say, if I can't get you a better job, that I'm going to waive your tuition. But that's because I feel very strongly about what my staff can do and what they have already done. So we tell people, don't worry about the lending process. If you got the $100, just come on board, go through the audition because we do handpick who we're going to serve, and then fill out the paperwork and we're good to go.
Well, you can read more about Ida Byrd-Hill and Automation Workz at blackpressusa.com. Just like all the stories we covered this morning, you can read about it at blackpressusa.com and many of our member newspapers. We really appreciate Ida Byrd-Hill and all of this wonderful, wonderful information, game-changing information this morning. And don't forget to check out the National Newspaper Publicist Association and the Black Press of America's TikTok account, handled by the fabulous HBCU student Carrington York, who brings you up to date on what's going on in the world of the Black Press of America. So check out NNPA Black Press. That's the address on TikTok. And make plans today to join us for the National Leadership Reception, which is September 16th at www.virtualnnpa2021.com. It's free to register. Please register because it's going to be a great program. And let it be known, remember this, you're not obligated to win. You're obligated to keep trying you can each and every day. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow.